So this is my favorite video. I explain here what I do in all my video exercises, how and why they work, and especially the scientific explanation. I say and show that by acting on the mental images, we can change our emotions. The images recorded in the brain can change not only the cause of the thoughts that produce suffering, but also the actions associated with them. Working on mental images, we can manage our life. We represent in our mind what is around us and what is elsewhere. The image formation processes require precise neurological support. They stimulate the nerve cells, the neurons. What we look illuminates brain pathways that go into the primary visual cortex, in turn linked to various parts of the brain. When we close our eyes and imagine, the same thing happens inside the brain. The images are visual when we represent tangible things, auditory if we produce sounds in the mind. If we reconstruct the tactile perception of a contact, there is the memory of taste, of a smell, and the images of movements of our body. To help people with my videos, I use mainly visual and auditory images, taking advantage of their close connection with our emotions. I assert and demonstrate that by acting on the image, it is possible to modify the emotions. I show the pictures because I want to prove that the actions, thoughts, and emotions have a specific area in the brain. As I said, the image formation processes require a very specific neurological support. These processes stimulate the neurons that, thanks to some substances, the neuromediators, convey information. Nerve cells are constituent units of the nervous system, allowed to realize a communication system between different zones by means of contact called synapses. They have an electric charge which, when energized, causes the release of chemical mediators on the neuron receptor and all other neurons with which it is in contact, causing the passage of information. Tying the extensions of brain cells, we cover 1,000,000 kilometers, the distance from the Earth to the Moon and back. I said that neurons, driven by electric currents lightweight, generate feelings and emotions. Take, for example, the transmission of pleasure. When a given pulse arrives, it is released between a neuron and another. Dopamine, a chemical substance capable of spreading the stimuli. All substances that people take for recreational purposes work by increasing the levels of dopamine. J. Ledoux says each of these regions is a collection of different areas, and in each of these regions has a busy crossing of signals between areas. In my opinion, these interrelated factors are the basis of representations organized topographically, the source of mental images. When we close our eyes and remember an image or a sound, we light a number of neurons in many brain areas. The green spaces are auditory, yellow ones are motor. The orange area is the somatosensory, that is relevant to the perception of sensory stimuli. In my opinion, Have a mind means that a form neural representations organism that can become images have been handled in a process called thought and influence behavior by helping to predict the future, to plan, and to choose the next action. An image, whether it comes from external reality, whether it comes from the memory, can become a stimulus that causes an emotional reaction. Mental images make an archive in the memory from which to draw to recall the memories and emotions that are tied to such memories. When activated, the alarm of fear, the amygdala sends emergency messages using special substances circulating in the neurons. It stimulates the secretion of hormones that trigger the reaction of combat, escape, mobilizes the centers of the movement and active cardiovascular system, muscles, and intestines. The electrical impulses are able to transform the thought in motion. I do a demonstration. Put your hand and arm up to the elbow, leaning on the table, and close your eyes. Now imagine that they are rising. Look with your mind's eye. The arm and the hand going up with closed eyes looks at the arm that lifts, rises, and rises. You cannot hide that. If it does not get up because you strive to hold it steady. When you have time, make an easy and fun experiment. Alloy something, like a pendant little heavy, to a rope. At the center of the paper, do a small circle on which hangs wire and pendant. Looking at the pendant, imagine that it is moving, swinging. You think that it oscillates, and you'll see that the pendant really swings. Then imagine that it oscillates in the other side. You will see that moves only because the thought has stimulated the movement. Unbelievable? It is more what you read next. Scientists at the Technische Universität München and the TU Berlin have shown that the commands can be given to a plane using only brain waves. The tests carried out with a flight simulator have been successfully carried out by 7 people, one of which has never flown a plane. We are speaking only about small pieces of brain. Imagine how many phantasmagorical things happen inside it. It's undeniable that there is a link between images and emotions. Whoever says otherwise needs to innumerable and extensive upgrades. So my model is called VA-E because it allows using some strategies to act on visual and auditory images for change the emotions and vice versa. I hope you did not get tired. I'd like to talk about the brain with no time limit. Excuse me for the excess. Also, excuse my bad English. If you want, you can get in touch with me through my email.